Hey everyone, it's Brian here. So this video is sort of to do with football because currently, especially these past 48 to 72 hours, there's been very big discussion going on right now, which is the proposal of the European Super League by 12 of the biggest clubs in Europe. Um, it's like I'll basically try and go over what it is, my views on it, and sort of the recent news that's happened a few hours ago. So the European Super League was announced a couple of days ago, and what it was going to be was 12 teams. We're going to basically have this league of their own. They're going to basically depart from their own leagues, um, like ignore the Champions League, ignore the Europa League, and just make their own thing. So there's the big six in England, being Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham. Also, we have AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Juventus, Real Madrid, and then they did try to get Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, and PSG involved, but they all rejected. Um, Essentially, what it comes down to is the owners have gone behind the club and the managers and the fans' backs and talked in private about this, and then basically just gone and triggered it. Basically, it was like rumored for a while, and then it was rumored that they were going to announce their participation in it yesterday or the day before, I believe. And then, yeah, basically 9:30, they just turned around and just went, yeah, we're doing this Super League. So basically, fans, especially in England, have literally put signs and banners up about how essentially their club is dead. It's no longer the club they support anymore. Basically, the owners need to like. I know for years people have been wanting owners of certain clubs to be out, especially the American ones. So you got Ed Woodward and the Glazers at United. You got Kroenke at Arsenal. You got Levy at Tottenham. It comes down to. I'm just basically going over the information here. I'm trying to think what the guy's name is that came up with it. But essentially, their reason for it is to help financially support the football pyramid, meaning themselves. They're basically all greedy owners, and they just want more money. And especially the American owners are wanting to Americanize football because they wanted to do it similar to NBA and NFL, where it's you play a certain amount of teams a few times. Whoever does best in those then goes into a playoff type scenario, and then after that you see who the true winners are. There's no relegations, there's no nothing like that. Their big excuse as well was sort of like, oh, like people want to see Man U versus Real Madrid, or they want to see Liverpool versus Barcelona. It's like, yeah, that's what the Champions League is for. But people want to see it on a more regular basis. But then it's not as special if it keeps happening 4 times a year. But they just don't see that. For them, it's money, 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 money. And they don't care about the people, like, they don't care about the history of the club. They don't care about the supporters that actually kind of financialize the club in a way, because they're paying for the tickets, they're paying for the merchandise. You know, like, they don't get that money if fans aren't buying into their stuff. And basically, they've used the advantage of COVID and people watching at home to think they can prioritize this. Like, I know Sky or what I think Sky/BT tried to do a box office thing when the whole COVID lockdown started, and obviously people gave that massive backlash because essentially, who wants to pay £15 to watch West Brom versus Fulham? You know, like, you want to kind of pay money for the big games, but they try to do it with like every other game. And yeah, essentially this has been met with even more backlash. And then just announced a few hours ago, all the big six have now backed out of it. Ed Woodward has resigned from Manchester United. Mourinho was sacked by Tottenham earlier in the day, or yesterday, basically because he didn't agree with the European Super League. So they basically just went, alright, screw you then, you can go. Kind of just shows what Levy is like at Tottenham. He just does not care about management or the players or anything. Some of the players are finally, now that the teams have backed out, they've now come out and said stuff, because obviously they didn't want to risk their own careers by saying something. I know Milner, after the Liverpool match, was very against it. Gary Neville was one of the biggest voices about the whole European Super League thing, saying it was literally killing football, essentially, as we know it. It's not going to be the same. Basically, all that history of Manchester United and Liverpool, like you could say Tottenham as well, Man City especially recently, that all goes out the window if they did go through with this. We still got to wait and see if the other leagues, so Inter, Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid, if they back out of it as well. I'm sure they will, because there won't really be any other teams. But yeah, it's literally just been one massive thing, especially over the weekend. And it's good to see that the teams have sort of seen the error of their ways. I feel like they still need to be punished for it. Not the players, not the managers. Like, it's not their fault, it's the owner's fault. Like, don't have a go at the players because they've not got a choice in the matter. Which, like, that's the worst part about it, is literally just the owners. They've not talked to the managers about it, they've not talked to the players about it, they've not talked to the fans about it. They've just gone in their own business, screwed the fans over, screwed the players over. The thing that sort of makes me laugh as well is they want like the big six of England. The same day it was triggered, Arsenal drew with Fulham. You know, you want this elite league thing, whatever you want. Arsenal can't beat Fulham, they're 10th in the league. Tottenham struggling. Chelsea today have just drew with Brighton, couldn't score against them. Liverpool haven't won their worst seasons. Like, the only one that is doing alright is Man City. Man U are doing better than themselves. But yeah, it's literally just, it's one of those things that just makes you laugh. For example, I'll put it this way. So, for the big six, so Man City are first, Man U are second, Chelsea are fourth, Liverpool are sixth, Tottenham are seventh, and Arsenal are ninth. And yeah, you got Leicester, West Ham, and Everton in between them. If Everton win their game, they go ahead of Tottenham. If Leicester win their game, they go a bit further away from Chelsea. But it's just one of those things that makes me laugh, where it's like, they're supposed to be this elite big six, and they can't beat Brighton, they can't beat Fulham. You know, it's one of those things that just makes you laugh, is they want to challenge Juventus and Barcelona and everything on a yearly basis, but it's not going to work. And also, I think they wanted to like do world travel as well, so it's like, we'll play over here in 1 week, and then we'll go play over here. And it's like, the teams already at the beginning of the season were complaining about their work schedule, about having to play like 4 games in 2 weeks, so having their Premier League match, then a Champions League match, then a Premier League match, and then another Champions League match, and then they've got a cup match. If they were going to do this, it would be even worse for them. But at the end of the day, for the owners, it's just the money they want. That's all they want. They do not care about the like, again, like, they don't care about the fans, they don't care about the history. All they care about is making money, and if they can't get fans here, then they'll go to another country where fans will be allowed to go in, especially America. Like, I'm not saying this is like all Americans, but there's a good handful of Americans that just enjoy the concept of sport, so they will buy all the clothes, they'll buy the scarves, they'll buy the little like horns and whatever. They'll basically buy everything, and it makes them even more money. And obviously, with it being dollars, then it's easier for the Americans to sort out. Yeah, it's literally just been one massive PR disaster. All big six teams. Like, I myself, like, family wise, I'm a Leicester fan. But also I have been a United fan for several years. So when David Beckham was playing for him, that's sort of when I did start to favour United. Like, luckily the past few years I've gone a bit more neutral since starting like fantasy football. I've just been enjoying every team play. And I think since COVID lockdown, I've especially just enjoyed any football possible. So yeah, it was quite something when Man U kind of like, I think personally it didn't bother me too much, because like I said, I'm not a full on 100% United fan. I'm not like a die-hard football fan either. I'm not like a, like, it's a weird way to say it. I feel like, especially with football, it's weird to use the term, but I kind of call it like bipolar fans. So if it's going well, they're on top of the world, they're having the best day ever. But if it goes shit, then it's just a downward spiral for them. And it's like, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't see the point of getting majorly affected by this team that you support not doing well, because it doesn't affect you personally. Like, them not winning a match is not going to interrupt your life in any way. Like, that's down to them not playing well. So, for example, when I was following Man U, if they didn't win, I didn't then go, I don't want to talk to anyone because my team lost, blah, 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 blah. You know, it just never appealed to me that much. Like, I get this being passionate, but I think there's this new level of passion which is a bit too much. Like, I get supporting your club and wanting them to do well, but when it gets to the point where it's like it's life and death for you, I think that's a little bit too far. But yeah, going back to the whole Super League thing, it was like, for my opinion, I could see why they wanted to do it. I think a lot of people could, money and stuff. I could have seen the appeal to it. Like, I can see why they were trying to go through with it, because they know people want to see those matches. That's why people tune in to the Champions League, and there's so many viewers for the Champions League. But the whole point of that is, it's not the same teams every season. So it's not a set schedule that, Liverpool's journey to Champions League is going to be, they're going to have Porto and Shakhtar and whoever in their group, and then along the way they're going to go Real Madrid, Barcelona, and then probably Bayern in the final. It's not going to be that every year. It's always different, because they have the pot stages, so they get different group stages, and then depending how well the teams do, obviously then there's the playoffs in that way. They're not going to face the same teams every year. So, for example, Liverpool didn't face Atletico Madrid this year. They did face Real Madrid, but the last time they did was 2 or 3 years ago. And then, like, we had PSG versus Bayern in the quarter-final, not the not the final, so it's going to be a different final. But with this Super League, it's going to be, it's PSG and Man U again. It's Liverpool and Bayern again. It's literally just going to be the same teams all the time, and you lose the appeal when you do it more and more and more and more. Like, that's why with leagues, no one feels like, this is the first time in 4 years. Like, the only time it gets big is because it's like a sort of title deciding match, or it's the top 2 teams against each other, or people fighting in a relegation battle. There's no real stakes for the losers in the Super League. So if they come to the bottom, they're not being relegated. Like, I guess the only thing that would happen is their funding won't be as high, but it's not like, you're now going to have to go against these people, like, you're going to have to now qualify with these people, just basically try and get back in it. It's literally just going to be, you just go again, But yeah, like, for me, it was kind of just sound like a really dumb idea. Like I said, like, there was a little bit of intrigue, like, if they went through with it. I'm very glad they're not. But if they did go through with it, like, what would the Premier League and the other leagues do about it? Like, apparently they threatened to basically kick them out of the Champions League, Europa League, FA Cups, basically any domestic stuff. So in that case, Leicester would have won the FA Cup because they've got Chelsea in the final. The Carabao/League Cup probably would have gone to someone in the quarter-final, because Tottenham and Man City are in the final, and they would have both been gone. PSG would have automatically been given the Champions League, because the only teams that are left are Man City, Chelsea, and who's the other one? Can't remember now. Because Liverpool are out. It would have been Gone I'm having a dumb moment. But essentially, the only team that would have been left would have been PSG. Because it would have been, I think it's Man City, PSG in the final, and then it's not final, sorry, semi-final, and then you've got Chelsea and I think it might have been Porto. No, because they just beat Porto. But anyway, the whole point was, it would have just completely ruined like the leagues and stuff. Like, my suggestion I had to my brother was, the lower leagues would then have to promote 6 teams. So basically, the way the Championship and League 1 and League 2 works is, they have 24 teams in their league. The top 2 teams get automatic promotion. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th then face each other in playoffs, and the winner of those playoffs then get promoted as the 3rd team. And then the bottom 3 teams will get relegated. What I basically suggested would have been, the 4 teams in that bracket would have also been automatically promoted. So then that fills the 6-team gap in the Premier League. No team in the Premier League gets relegated. And then they would relegate 4 from the Championship. So then that then becomes a that's then 14 teams. But then League 1 then pushes 6 up, and they drop 4 down, and then League 2 pushes 6 up, and then essentially each league would, each of the top 4 leagues would have 20 teams in each of them. So basically, the teams that would have been relegated would have got scot-free. And then I saw some teams funnily enough would have been they started doing oh well, if this is the case, then we're technically the champions of this season. So if it stays as it is, Leicester would technically win this season. Wolves would have technically won last season. Everton would have had about 7 titles in that time. I saw a picture for it and it was amazing. It was like Blackburn would have had 6 more. That was just one of those very interesting things to see. But yeah, just what was it? It was just it's just absolute madness, and it's essentially it's just the owners being greedy and wanting more money, and they know if they go to America where they're trying to make football the thing over there, then they definitely would have got a massive amount of money out of it. And can you imagine the stadiums that America have? They have 80,000 seat stadiums over there as it is, so they could easily fill those if they just get neutrals and supporters from across the world. They'll basically try and push it over there as this big thing. Yeah, I'm so glad the fans and footballers and former footballers have stood up to them and they've now backed out of it. The punishment, to me, there's got to be some punishment. If it's a points deduction, that's the weakest they can do. If there's no punishment, a lot of people are going to be angry about it. Some people have said they should do what they did with Rangers, where they basically demote them to the bottom tier of the Football League and they have to work their way back up, which I'm for. I think they should be punished for that. I know it's unfortunate on the players, but the club as itself or the owners, it's either that or the owners leave. Ed Woodward's already left, which is good. Hopefully the Glazers leave. Hopefully Kroenke leaves. Hopefully Levy leaves. Apparently the rumour is they're trying to sell the players on. Not sell the players on. They're trying to sell the clubs. So the Glazers are looking to sell United. Kroenke's looking to sell Arsenal. I think Levy's looking to sell Tottenham. And let's hope so, because owners like that who do not care about the sport, probably don't even watch the sport, and are just basically trying to make more money for themselves, don't deserve to, essentially, for me, maybe be in this country. They should go back to America, buy an American football team, buy an MLS team, I don't care. Just don't be over here and basically try and take what makes British football what it is and then make it your own Americanized thing. If you want to do that with an American team. Fund the MLS if you want that to be such a big thing. So it's just one of those things that I think for a lot of people just really annoyed them, and I think a lot of football fans are very happy. It's nice to see several fan communities, especially the Big Six, put their rivalries to one side to unite against the owners, and it's actually worked. Like I said, Mourinho was obviously sacked from Tottenham. Klopp might be next to leave Liverpool, apparently. It's definitely a good thing that the whole European Super League thing was basically stopped in its tracks immediately. What it does to the clubs, I don't know. But like I said, don't blame the players, don't blame the managers. They had no say in it. Just have a go at the owners, because essentially it's their fault all this has happened. And like I said, the worst part about it is they went behind the fans' backs, they went behind the club's backs, they went behind the managers, the players. Literally had no input in it. The owners literally just went, right, we want to do this because we want to maximise profits in the football pyramid, meaning their football pyramid, meaning their bank accounts. Having said that, I'm going to end that there before I keep rambling on about the same stuff over and over again. Literally just a quick message short. Thank God the European Super League is being cancelled and dead in its tracks immediately, and hopefully the owners leave the clubs, sell the clubs, and basically just go back to the States or whatever other countries they're from. I don't want it to sound like I'm a racist or a xenophobic or whatever. It's just, I really hate greedy people like that. When the world's in crisis as it is, and funding all that stuff is a problem, and all they care about is making their bank account bigger. To me, they can just essentially get out the club, get out the country, go back to the States and just do it over there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will be back after sort of this week. I need to do a Premier League review for last week, and then this week's going on, so I'll combine them both into one video. But again, thank you very much for watching this video, and I shall hopefully see you in the next one.